Alright, let me ease on, overlay off. I'm not going to do a long introduction here, we're going to hop right in and then I'll start introducing because... Yeah, let's go. So this is game number 1. We're doing today a continuation of the World Desert Championship Sand League, where we're looking now at the last matchup in the round of 16 that I hadn't covered yet. And we have about 2 hours to get through these games, ideally, before the final of the main event, which players might want to watch as well, or viewers might want to watch. Let me just get everything set up here. So yeah, this is an event, a tournament, and the main event is almost done. The finals are happening in 2 hours, as said. But this is the Sand League, which is any team that didn't make it into the main event just because they were lower rated or didn't make it through the qualifiers could sign up here, and this is still a pretty high level of play, especially at this point. And the overall event features a bunch of new maps that are representing deserts of the world. And this is oh god, I didn't memorize how to pronounce this one. In any case, this one has a central oasis, and the teams sort of have to decide how much to emphasize water in the early game. There are also these areas in the corners that have lots of deer and boar, but no one ever seems to go for those. And then, yeah, there's more I can talk about, specifically about deserts and anti-desertification efforts. I will do that when we have more viewers, probably for the final. But essentially, any money that gets donated to the prize pool now, half of that will go towards a charity that helps reforestation efforts. So it's a good cause, and we see lots of new maps, which is the reason I've been streaming it, to help show off these maps. So here players didn't know what they would get. They were basically, this is a map pack game, which means that they were picked very standard Britons, Franks, Vikings, Britons, Franks, Mayans, very typical, you know, cavalry and archer civilizations. And we can see here that our warm color team has 2 docks up, and here on the cool color team only green is docked so far. It's always a question here what we see. The aggression on the sides, we could see more or less of a play towards water. We could see a lot of archers circling around. We've seen different things on this map. And we'll see an indication of what players want to go for sort of once they start reaching feudal. Right now it's just the scouts skirmishing. Getting a barracks up on the way to feudal is a good sign that this Britain's player here wants to go for archers next. So we'll be seeing archery ranges there. So I'm going to slow down for a bit. Let's take a quick look. I see green is going to contest the water, and he's getting some walls up. It's getting a 3rd dock because neither of their flanks are going for water at all. You can't wall to the center unless you have a dock there as part of the wall. And it looks like none of the other players are going for water military currently. We have archery ranges from Britons. We have no stable here from our Frank player, who's going heavily on water. We have archery ranges from Mayans. We're going to have a Briton archery range. And we're going to see stables here from this Frank player, and archery ranges here. So the question, strategically speaking, here is green should be able to take water control as the only person who's making any water military. Will that make up for the lack of scouts? It does allow this team to then gather as much fish as they want, and will allow access in the late game to the golden relics in the center. It also allows pressuring the coastal areas, shooting at scouts with galleys, pressuring farmland and so on. Oh, it looks like yellow is defending on water now as well. But green, 3-dock production should easily do better there. And players are attempting to wall. Looks like red is almost fully walled. I think let's watch the naval engagements for now. Green is taking out the fishing ships here. Alright, we can now move to taking out the docks. Meanwhile, we though have the scouts and archers here. And green is walled, but doesn't have anything to defend against this just yet here. Loses a villager there to the archers, but is walled because of the docks, and will be able to get scouts or spearmen out soon. And let's see what else is going on. So we have heavy archer plays everywhere else, but both players just biding their time on this side. And here red is circling again, and red and yellow still looking for an entrance here. So green, yeah, is basically taking water control at this point. Yellow is on the way to Castle Age. Teal is on the way to Castle Age. No one else is on the way to Castle Age just yet. Blue can't defend this alone, and it looks like green isn't going to be making any military until Castle Age either. There'll be knights, there'll be Frankish knights then, but no scouts or anything here. If we check over here, these archers are trying to harass the wood line, but not doing very much there. Ooh, purple's going over here, yeah. I think either there's no time or there's enough food. Or, anyway, players never go for the corners. Or the villagers there would just be too exposed and require too much defending. Alright, so it looks like green now has total water control. So should be free to have a big fish boom here. And we have Castle Age coming for green. There'll be knights there. There'll be knights from yellow. And there will be crossbows from everyone else. Where those scouts aren't getting in. In fact, they're even going to go down to the single crossbow. So overall, we do have several games in this set to watch. If I time it right, we'll get through all of them in about 2 hours, just in time for the finals of the main event, which I probably won't cast because there will be a whole bunch of big name casters looking at that. I've been doing the Sand League because, as far as I know, no one else has been casting those, and I do want to show off these maps here. Also because I was involved in making some of them. Not this one, though. So the question is, where are we going to see a big push? Teal can harass there, purple's harassing here, but essentially the pockets are all walled in their little circle walls. Green is on 3 TCs, and yellow will likely is also on 3 TCs. So it's very standard here. We're seeing green now come up with another dock. mean, at this point, if you have total water control, you may as well take advantage of the fish. It is only shorefish. Fishing ships don't gather that very quickly, but it is an extra food source, and it does allow your military ships to at least slightly harass villagers. This is where I also think like investing in, say, the galley upgrade, just to range some villagers in a couple places, might make sense. Oh, it looks like a large number of purple crossbows have made it in. Teal does not have the military to defend against that. Green is sending knights, but those aren't enough of them yet. Teal certainly doesn't have the numbers to defend against this. Oh, defensive mangonel, that will do it. Especially if it gets several solid hits in. Teal isn't producing anything else though right now. Okay, now we see more crossbows coming out. And another mangonel. Meanwhile on this side, we have a knight battle and we have our crossbow battle. These crossbows have denied this wood for now. Yeah, so this has been a map we've seen fairly frequently, and it's usually interesting to watch. Let's see how this engagement plays out. I'm seeing a lot more red crossbows here than blue ones. Teal still circling here, purple getting cleared up by the mangonel now. Those remaining crossbows will go down one way or another. This dance of units still happening here. Green just added another dock to have more efficient fishing. Should really upgrade actually the ships just to be able to harass land units even better. Or make a demo. Make a few demos to catch out some units. Alright, well we're gonna see just sort of a 1v1 here currently. Where Teal should have the advantage by adding a siege. And here we're gonna see a 2v2, although there don't seem to be many green knights here just yet. So that could take hard to say because both teams can of course continue reinforcing here. It will come down to things like castle drops and so on. Because this seems relatively even, and I can already tell you by peeking ahead at the remaining games that we're going to see lots of exciting games. What's here? Yeah, this army, well, it's looking for something to pick off, but purple has a very compact base. It looks like yellow now has 4 TCs even. Yeah, everyone actually has very compact bases right now. Which they can still get away with currently. So we will see how that continues. As always, if there are any issues with the stream or the sound, let me know, but there haven't been any recently, so I assume everything's fine. Yeah, so basically what we're seeing now is sort of the Castle Age build-up of armies, where there are some skirmishes, but no one really wants to force the engagement just yet. We'll risk of losing it. Red is going up to Imp. That will be a power spike, but there's no castle here, so it's not a game-ending power spike. Although having all of these Arbalests is, of course, nice. Green merrily fish booming here. Siege Workshop actually being denied for the moment. Oh, blue adds another one. Red adds another town center. That must be number 4 as well. Let me just check. Has teal added... Teal did not add town centers. Only player not to do so. That would explain why teal only has 48 villagers now. And I don't know. I feel like if you have full water control, you should make a little upgrade, even if it's just a few of these. But I guess green would rather invest those resources in more knights. That probably makes sense. But there is at least some stuff you could range with, say, castle age ships. Oh, we see a scorpion in the mix. Now the scorpion has 1 HP. It goes down. And here... Well, these knights should be tanking for these crossbows, actually. And Arb has come in. We now have Imp coming in for green as well, and for purple. I feel like if this engagement is going to be happening, green should have the knights actually engaging. But I think perhaps they're... I mean, from this hill, blue might be able to do alright in the fight despite not having the upgrades. And everyone now on the way to Imperial Age except for red, who's already there. Let's check on the other side. I think at this point, yeah, blue, does blue add multiple town centers? Oh, I guess blue only is on 1 town center as well. So that could be a bit of an issue for blue and teal. Both of them have considerably less eco now than their pockets opposed to them. Now, this castle will likely go up, and on this side we have rams and crossbows, and teal doesn't have the numbers to take that engagement. Not currently. So with a short pause apparently. And I also feel blue doesn't really have the numbers as well. Oh, this castle... It just helps hold the area, it doesn't secure anything in particular. But it will eventually take down some of these archery ranges. Green moving out. That could be good if green manages to get a huge raid in. It looks like yellow's planning to set up trade, and red too. But it could also be bad if blue then doesn't have the support needed to engage here. Specifically, blue won't have anything to deal with rams. There are some green knights here too. Alright, all the imp upgrades coming in for everyone now. Yeah, okay, those rams are out of position. What is green going to find here? He's going to find a town center. He's going to find some holes. And is forcing yellow to pull all the knights back. It's forcing lots of eco idle time. That was worth the effort. And there are enough cavaliers here that blue isn't left entirely alone. If we check on the other side, though, it looks like teal is dying. Probably wasn't able to keep up sufficient archer numbers here. And economically only 39 villagers for teal, 51 for blue. That's going to be the downfall of this team. Now green is trying to support on this side too. There are a bunch of idols there. And this raid being cleared up. This raid being cleared up or being forced back. And yellows... Alright, yeah, trade is being set up here. But I feel... Teal is dead. Teal is dead here. Unless this army is cleared out. No, there's a castle going up in Teal's former base. Teal is very much dead. So this is over. Players haven't realized yet, but it is. Probably when all these units go down, the castle goes up. Yeah. That's a GG there. Also, of course, this side crumbling. But I think there, probably the ultimate downfall of our cold-colored team was the fact that both of the flanks stayed on 1 TC for a long time, but weren't able to cause enough damage, and thus were behind economically. We can see that on the respective villager counts. So let's look at game number 2.1 on Taklamakan. Note specifically in the World Desert Championship, there's always a mini 1v1 series, best of 3. And this is one of those, and on those players get to pick maps for the first 2 games, and then the third one is on the map pack, but with mirrored civilizations if it gets to that. This map is essentially it's double Arabia, so you have 2 starting towns with a sort of Arabia-like setup. These reed trees, oh, they've been upgraded, so they have 100 wood as well. So they're just cosmetically different. But they look different, but they're the same as normal trees on this map specifically. And players start with 2 bases. Each one starts with 4 yurts, so players aren't housed immediately, and also with 4 outposts, just to help with scouting. And on team games, this is always results in, you know, very quick build-up and basically quick rush to Castle Age, because players will have like 50 villagers by the time they're up on the way to Castle Age. It just accelerates the overall gameplay. It's of course tricky to manage 2 bases. And you have 2 scouts, so you can choose to group them up. And especially in team games, that then means that you could group up, you know, up to 6 scouts and really pick some good fights potentially. Green's gonna lose this scout. Yeah. And we have Tatars and Indians. And it looks like our yellow player is actually going for some walls around one of the bases. Both players have bases that are kind of separated. I would argue perhaps green's bases are even a bit further apart than yellow's. Not a huge thing. And Indians, of course, are known for their camels. While for Tatars, we might be seeing, say, cav archers. There's lots of elevation to play with in Tatars. Get more of an elevation bonus. Looks like both players are actually walling this side. The question here is, I guess, whether we'll see any feudal aggression. No, is the answer for many players, but that's a definite no. So we're already seeing Castle Age. Well, let's see. Green produced a new scout, but Green is also now. Both players are going to Castle Age because they already have, as said, 50-odd villagers. So there's really no need to languish in feudal age when you already have a very solid resource income. And it's also harder to raid 2 bases, because even if you manage to deny one of them, your opponent is still collecting resources at the other one. So it looks like Green is attempting to palisade the entire length of the map. Successfully, even, I would argue. I don't see any holes here. We're going to slow down when Castle Age is reached. Yeah, Green is fully walled and is now researching cavalry archers, which is... Wait, this is Yellow, sorry. Yellow is researching cavalry archers in Castle Age, and it's not walled fully. But that makes sense because Tatars do get good cav archers, and we'll likely see camels here. We're seeing the armor come in right now for that. Not seeing any being trained just yet. Indian camels, of course, do get extra pierce armor. And there we go, now we see them coming out. Yeah. So we'll see which army composition is better. We also... You'll notice that Green is slightly ahead on the villager count. But that's just a matter. Alright, so Green's adding a 3rd town center. Let's just see over here. You have mills all over the place. Yellow has already added a 3rd town center. And we might actually see this go somewhat to the late game, given the extent of all the walling already. Yellow will look to mass enough cav archers before engaging. And Green will need some answer to that, which camels do have a attack bonus, but they also don't have that much pierce armor. Even Indian camels don't have that much pierce armor. So it all comes down to numbers. And it's a decent number of cav archers. We should be seeing more units on both sides, so no player is going to want to do a decisive engagement yet. Let's see, the cav archers are going here, but Green is fully walled, so they can shoot at some gold miners. They're not going to want to take the engagement just yet. This is a nice choke point for Yellow. Green now circling around to try and catch the cav archers out from multiple sides. And he's going to keep chasing those around. How's our economy looking? 80 and 90 villagers. Yeah, it goes quickly. Of course, I'm playing it at slightly faster speed here as well, but even so, the economy accelerates quickly when you start with 2 town centers. Green taking that engagement. I don't know, it's not... I mean, the cav archers were bunched up in a nice hole there again. Alright, we now see mangonels coming out to help counter the cav archers. And we see Imperial coming out for Green, while Yellow seems to be just pumping out more cav archers. So we could be seeing heavy camels or even Imperial camels. And Yellow will need either good micro or some other unit, say some knights or light cav or something to deal with the mangonels. Ooh, we see Green getting a castle out here. That is a statement. And Green does appear to have enough military to probably force this up. Yellow could focus down the villagers. Mangonels went down. Villagers run away from that for now. Camels don't go into the fight just yet. Alright, Yellow now adding monks. That will help deal with siege, if redemption is researched, which I don't know if Tatars get. Perhaps they do. It will also help convert camels, though, and heal up cav archers. And monk goes down. And this castle is going to go up. Green adding more mangonels to help deal with the cav archer numbers. And green reaches imp, so we'll likely be seeing some camel upgrades there. Yeah, heavy camel coming in. We could be seeing trebuchets. So yellow is going for a castle there. Yellow also going for imp at this point. And economically, green does have a slight villager advantage. Green's shooting down this outpost because it would require murder holes for the castle to shoot at it. Alright, yellow has walled off this mini base separately, but only with palisade walls, so green... Actually, no, it's house walled behind. Green could attempt to break in, but those cav archers there. Yeah, we see now Trebs coming out. That makes sense because this castle has been spotted. And camel upgrade isn't particularly fast, it seems. But those are now heavy camels. With another pierce armor. You see this castle going up, which does deny the stone, but perhaps a more central castle would have been more useful. I think green is clearly in the winning position here, economically and also just with military pressure. Because yellow can't easily use cavalry armor. He's getting of course all the remaining upgrades for that, but yellow doesn't really have an easy way to deal with all of this. Cav archers alone won't do that. I'm seeing more artillery ranges going up because these here are going down, or are not safe to produce from. And I see, well, yellow is producing, I know going for pikemen, yeah. Somewhere, I don't see where, but they are being produced. I mean, I think yellow hasn't lost it, but is losing it. And green has stonewalled the side just to be safe here. Actually, stonewalled most of the map just to be safe. We'll take down this base, but yellow still has the other base. Although yellow could probably call it. We now see elephant archers, which actually are decent tank shots against cav archers. It's sort of the equivalent of bringing in a ram just to tank arrow fire. Elephants have a lot of hit points, and even without any upgrades, well, actually, without any upgrades, they do go down sort of quickly. They would need some. Yeah, now we have one armor coming in for them. Or pierce armor. Alright. Yellow rebuilding a castle back here. And is still holding on this game. And there are pikemen somewhere, yeah, okay. Pikemen will do well against the camels. will also do well if they manage to close the distance to the elephant archers. Alright, so it looks like green actually doesn't have much military here at the moment. Is only producing elephant archers. And monks will also deal with elephant archers very nicely. So let's see who resigned here. I don't see who resigned. But it could be that... Let me quickly check that. I'm not sure who won this game. Or maybe this was a disconnect at this late stage. It's not impossible. So let me quickly check. This is VLAN. That was our Indian player supposedly won that. Which it could just be that yellow saw, despite the fact that yellow currently has these cav archers, didn't really have an overall plan to winning this, or route to winning it, say. I think that might be a fair assessment here. There's also, I think, a bug where chat sometimes doesn't show up properly, so that might explain why sometimes we don't see a GG being called. It doesn't necessarily mean there's any bad sportsmanship. So game number 2.2 is on PAG, and it's a Lithuanian mirror, which is interesting because it means that we are going to see a big fight for the Western Ocean, because that's where all the relics are. Or it means that we might see that. No guarantees, but if any player wants to have that sweet attack bonus on their knights or lighters, they will need to control that sea. And 1v1 players start far apart. I'm a bit concerned. There seems to be... I need to look at that. There seems to be some issue with forage bushes spawning awfully far away from players. I noticed that on another 1v1 as well, where both players had theirs so far in the middle that neither player gathered them because they walled closer than that. That's something I need to address on this map. Let's put up, as said, we have a Lithuanian mirror. So what'll be of interest on this map to see in the beginning is where players decide to dock, if at all. And red decides to dock here. This would be the side I'd expect from Lithuanians in order to obtain the relics. Well, in order to obtain water control on that side, and then get the relics later on, essentially. Alright, we see blue going up to feudal first. And getting a stable up now. Red starting to wall. Actually, red has a dock on both sides. Does blue have a dock on both sides? No, blue is only going for this side here. And blue is... that is a transport ship. That is a transport ship. So blue's going there, over there in feudal already. Taking no chances there, wanting to secure those relics. Of course, you can't actually pick them up in feudal yet, but you can bring some scouts there or some villagers over there. The villagers could later on build a monastery. So yeah, red walling. Blue also walling now. Given that we're not going to see that much early land aggression, I think this might... Oh, actually, that's the other option, of course, on this map, is you can transport past enemy walls. That would be another option to do there. To just drop these off somewhere back there. Which we've seen not every game, but often some sort of landings, because with such a long and ragged coastline, it is too bad that the transport ship goes down, but it is very easy to get in some landings at least. So these extra scouts that you produced aren't useless. They can at least force out some houses, maybe force some villager idle time, pick off some villagers, camp the berries. Has blue added additional docks? No. Red built a fire galley on this side, just red is going for water control on both sides. The actual number of fish here, as you can see, are not very great. There are still some here, but they're not very close to any of the docks. There aren't many fish overall, but it is still useful to control water for the purpose of landing, or of getting over here and getting the relics. So blue is building a second dock here. Red checking for docks on this side. Blue now walling as well. The scouts couldn't do any damage with the tower going up here and this being walled in, so they're going to wait. They could swoop in at a later point when there's a hole, or they could just guard the berries. Or they could die to some spearmen. Oh, yeah. Or they could get into the hole and harass some villagers there. Yeah. So, let's see. Blue now has 2 docks here. That should be enough to outproduce the single dock from red. So blue should win water here, unless red adds more docks, which red is going to do. See, demo hit there, damages 1 fire galley heavily. That one's going to go down as soon as it gets targeted. Red has some repair villagers ready. Blue's now focusing on the fishing ships, well, blue should probably deal with the remaining fire galley first. Oh, we see another demo come out. Blue sending more ships. Blue's researching Castle Age. Meanwhile, blue actually got up a dock on the other side and is going to begin contesting that. You don't want to let your opponent have too many fishing ships anywhere. And you also don't want to risk landings. We see the demo. The demo could get a nice hit there. That's a decent hit. So what is blue going to do in Castle Age? Well, now red is also going for Castle Age. One option would be to transport something over here to get relics. Looks like both players are producing new scouts. Another option would be to begin forcing your way down the center with, say, knights, or transporting knights around. Well, it looks like this is actually playing out as more of a water map this time around. At least currently. Alright, now we see a blue knight right there. And oh, all of those, yeah, those ships need repairs. Meanwhile, over here, blue sends out a demo, but might actually lose this dock. The good thing is that there are lots of places to build new docks, and it's hard to deny the entire coastline if a player actually wants to build docks somewhere. Alright. Blue upgrading the ships, that should be coming in a second. Oh, demo hit comes in, but now these are normal fire ships. And here, is blue going to get anything else out? I don't think so. Blue isn't training anything here, so this dock's going to go down again. Blue building a forward blacksmith. And blue chasing those fishing ships down. Because red currently has no military except whatever's in this dock. So, but red does control this side of the ocean. Ooh, blue sending scouts the long way around. and a knight, which is certainly possible too if players don't wall the back. So there are going to be some exposed villagers here once the spearman goes down. Alright, red's going to catch this builder. The quick walls... No, the quick walls failed. It's hard to see with the elevation, but they did. Blue getting some more villager kills here. Now burning this dock down. Spreading out the fire ships so that the demos don't do too much damage. Well, in this case, though, it was fire galleys and fire ships. And red has added a monastery at home. And red currently controls this coastline. It's going to try and break through, perhaps, with these scouts. Although blue does have some knights to help defend that. And blue's still raiding here with... Well, the knight also ran the long way around. Alright, I want to see what's in this monastery. It's got to be a monk, right? You can garrison monks in a monastery. If they were just produced there. Blue sending a low HP... Okay, the villager is low HP because it ran into a bear, but... Blue sending a villager forward. Blue needs to not send this villager forward right now. Yeah. Do we have... Blue has not added a monastery. Blue does have some demos stacked up there. And looks to be winning water on this side. Well, red is going to circle around now. How are you looking upgrades-wise? Neither player has upgraded their cavalry at all. Because they've been spending their resources on other things. We see redemption coming in from red. Is redemption required to convert ships? It might be. That I don't know off the top of my head. But that might be the reason for researching that. Or I suppose if red anticipates siege. So this army is going to come around the back, but blue theoretically knows that. Red going for an early town center on the right-hand land. Sorry about that. There's still one knight here that can raid and attack houses. Let's see. Red attempting to build more fire ships. Blue not currently attacking this dock, actually. I see a blue monk here. Ah, that's... Okay, red was actually going to go convert buildings. So red threatened to convert the siege workshop, so blue deleted it. And now blue's going to either have to delete the blacksmith or allow red to get that too. So red does convert the blacksmith. Monks being a solid addition in a night fight. Alright, blue does have... blue rebuilt the dock. Has some fire ships out. Fire ships haven't found these fishing ships yet. Although they will momentarily. Meanwhile, red pushing the monastery here. We still have some demos here. Red trying to regain the water on this side. Fire ships will not see the demos, and the demos will not see the fire ships. Alright, red loses all of the fishing ships here, and is going to lose the fish traps as well. Meanwhile here, this push is still unanswered as of right now. Red does have 3 monks here. is trying to convert something. I don't see where right now. Did the house get converted? Mill? No, the mill hasn't been converted yet. No, it's just the scouts being converted. And red does have a nice TC over here now. Red losing this stock, but gaining water control on this side again. A bit of a tug of war on water. This monastery going down. Blue going for pikemen, which will help against the cavalry and are also not as big of an issue if you lose them to a monk. Red is threatening to convert the stable here. Which has a very weird selection box actually because it's on a hill. And it does get converted. And also one of these pikemen gets converted. That dock went down. So blue lost all the docks on this side. Still has 2 demos though, which could snipe, say, a transport ship or something. We're going to clear out this dock. Going to send villagers here, but red is already building another TC here. Defensive tower there. Red has added scorpions as well to help deal with pikemen. Yeah, red is on top of this now. Blue villagers will see this stuff, but weren't probably expecting red to be so heavily invested on this side yet. How's our economy looking? Well, blue is ahead on villagers. Probably having added these town centers earlier. But currently doesn't really have the military to deal with this push. Right, blue retreats the builders. Red adds another TC here. So red now has 3 TCs there. I guess red never built any more on this side. Lost that dock, so blue now controls the water on this side. Red controls this water. Either player has been able to get the relics because they're all too busy fighting for the center. Alright, so now blue does have an army. How this goes will depend on red's monk micro. I'm guessing here this one maybe went down to the town center and the barracks was deleted when monks were attempting to convert it, probably. That's the thing with redemption, or with any monks really, you can just force your opponent to delete their units and buildings for fear of them being converted. Fred's monk micro is on point. None of these pike even get close. Alright, yeah, now red trying to make up the eco disadvantage here. And we see a transport ship coming out, so that might be an attempt to now move over here. Meanwhile, blue's TCs being pressured heavily. These are even might be getting a hill bonus even possibly. And despite the fact that blue has more villagers, blue is currently very much on the defensive. Oh, that was a nice shot here though. Only one mangonel left. I see more scouts coming. They're going to try and snipe some siege or the monks. This TC did go down. Red had some outposts. for extra vision here. And if we check the transport ship, the transport ship currently has villagers in it. Given how well this coast is built on, I'm guessing these villagers are headed over here. Blue going for a defensive castle. That should go up. And Blue's just going for pikemen now. The Lithuanian pikemen are slightly faster than generic ones. Let's see, Red is going to build... Could even build a town center over here, but will probably build a monastery and a mining camp or something. And is also clicking up to Imperial right now. So Red can't push the castle just yet, but with trebuchets we'll be able to. I think that will probably be the end of the game. Just Red's military advantage here. Here. There's some villagers going forward to do that. And Blue might actually have wood issues. Not yet, but if this were to go on for a long time. Alright, so yeah, there's the monastery, there's the mining camp. Red can now collect all of the relics. Give these knights a nice attack. Knights actually have no upgrades right now. Neither do these. Armor upgrades don't matter if you're mostly fighting against monks. And they also don't matter that much against pikemen. They'll take you out in a few hits anyway. More conversions coming in, and that's GG because, well, Imperial, Red didn't even have to make it to Imperial there. So GG. Actually, we could look at, where do we see conversions? 6 conversions, so it's not actually that many ultimately. These conversions are very micro-dependent. So game number 2. So this was 2.2 on PAG. 2.3 is a mirror on the map pack, and it's going to be a Slav mirror on the map pack. So let's take a look at that. We'll load this one. And it looks like we got Aleppo. And on this map, this is not wood, this is just some cliffy, well, basically rocky jungle area, but there's no trees there. So players have a few stragglers, and other than that, they need to fight for the center. They do have a sea tower that helps guard their initial lumber camp spot, but usually we see a lot of, say, archer fights around these areas. Because once you fully lose wood control, it's just over. So we're gonna accelerate a bit and then see what players decide to build forward in terms of military production building and everything else. See the lumber camp going up there, lumber camp going up there. Green going for a dock. Now that's interesting. We have seen docks before, but not frequently. A dock can act as an alternative to a mill for allowing shorefish to be gathered. You can also create fishing ships just as a way to get a bit of an eco boost before it's possible to add extra town centers. Or you could make demolition ships, possibly. But any ships that you might have will be at a hill disadvantage to land units. Alright, and we also see what looks like some militia being produced. That will be circling around here and will attempt to cause some damage there, I would suppose, or they could go to the mill. They will be men-at-arms, but they will also have to take fire from this tower. And a few quick walls are going to mean that I guess they could attack the ships. Scout goes down to the tower. Oh, they could take down the tower. I don't think green... What is green? Green is producing scouts. Alright, green is sending some villagers now. Yeah. And green did get... Oh, that's just a stone wall. That's not a tower. Ooh. So yellow got a tower up as well. We've seen this before in, I think, one of the early games on this map, where the, in a 1v1, where the tower rush just didn't work at all because the opposing player just built their lumber camps further on the side. So tower rush can work, but you really need to be rushing from both sides, because alternatively, because otherwise the player being tower rush just builds a lumber camp further away, and this tower is now denying nothing. Well, it's denying use of this camp, but... You know, green getting a defensive tower up there, and can just mine in peace over here. So that's why a tower rush on the wood doesn't work as well as you might think, because the wood is actually a very long line. What you need is, you either need to pressure from both sides, or you need to have enough military that you can just deny wood for 2 or 3 minutes. And at that point, your opponent is just starved of resources. Like, if you just have a ball of military here that is able to deny wood for any period of time, that can be game-ending. Alright, there is a spearman in that mix and another one coming in now. The tower does deal 7 damage. Although scouts have 2 pierce armor, so it deals 5 damage per shot to them. And the tower also has 8 range, which is the same as watchtowers. Alright, yellow attempting a tower over here on the gold. Now, alright, green deciding that some more stone is needed for counter towers, but there is plenty of undenied gold there. So this tower is not immediately an issue either. Green getting town watch, that makes sense to help spot any further towers. And the scouts are still looking around for exposed villagers like these here. That villager could well go down, yeah. Alright. Blue raiding with villagers and spearmen. But could still collect golden piece over there once necessary. Those scouts still circling around, gonna see if they can pick off anyone else. Yellow's sending villagers this way, so yellow's gonna tower the other side. Now that could lead to a successful tower rush. That one, well, I guess it helps deny the gold. Green now deciding to add either archers or skirmishers to help deal with the spearmen. But this, the tower rush, if you tower both sides, that can fully deny gold. So that becomes critical. If, say, a tower over here gets up, then suddenly green might feel the squeeze here. These towers are ignorable for green. And green did tower the stone to keep the stone safe. So this one is not going to get built yet. Perhaps this one have a safer one up first. Yellow should probably delete that. Yeah. Villages, of course, feudal towers don't have that many hit points, so villagers can rush them down. And that is what you should actually do if you're being tower rushed. You just pull a lot of villagers, such that your opponent would lose any villager for all that happens. And here it was important for green that this side doesn't get towered as well. Ugh, look at this. Well, at this point the towers are denying farming space, but this is a place, you know, green needs a tower somewhere here, or some military here. So the gold will be important. Alright, green is gonna say, okay, this is enough tower creep here. And green is on the way to Castle Age, which will probably spell the end for yellow. Because yellow has, well, some defensive spearmen, but really nothing else here protecting this. And only palisades here. Let's see another... Oh, the first stable went down, so green needs to rebuild the stable. And we see a tower war here, where you can, of course, just put your archers in the tower and free up your villagers. Two scouts aren't enough to actually deal damage here. Yellow now going for defensive tower there, but Castle Age comes in, and that is a GG, because yellow doesn't really have anything to deal with knights. Knights will run around, pick off lots of villagers. Knights could take out the towers. Yeah, that's GG. So, let's click through here. You can also see KD looking much better for green. And how are we doing time-wise? We still have some time. So we might, depending on how long these games are, I don't know that. We're going to see game number 3 is on the map pack, so we're going to load that. And it looks like this one is on Painted Desert. I know these maps fairly well at this point. So players didn't know what they were getting. They go for flexible hybrid map civilizations with archers and calves. So we have Chinese, Mayans, Lithuanians, and Saracens, Lithuanians, Ethiopians. Essentially, Lithuanians were filling the role of the pocket cavalry civilization, and all the others are going to be the flank archer civilizations. And this map has sort of these big layered hills in the center, as you might actually see in the Painted Desert. That's why it's called that, because it looks painted. It is, of course, actually due to either different layers of sediment deposition, where different types of sediment were deposited, or due to differential erosion. But I think this is actually sedimentation that's responsible for the majority of these layers. I don't think any of them are igneous. Not if I remember my geology correctly. So on this map, some players might have lots of elevation close to their town center, although it doesn't look like anyone has a really big issue with that. The outside has wood and stone, while the inside has all the neutral gold and lots of hills that are strategically important to control. Who shall we watch for a bit? Let's watch purple. Just pushing some deer towards the town center with the Eagle Scout. These things here, these are little, like, not actually pawns, it's just to make the map look nicer. And this deer is about to be pushed as well. So the deer will run away from your units, and if it hasn't been chased after a certain window of time, a couple seconds, then it will attempt to run back to its original place, and at that point there's not much you can do about it. Just have to push it again. Looks like our pockets will be the first players. Alright. Green opting for a slightly more forward barracks. Will be the first players up to feudal. Which are both Lithuanians. That makes sense. Lithuanians start with extra food, so it is particularly easy for them to get to feudal age quickly. And we'll likely be seeing scouts from both of them. We see green has walled to the map edge. And teal is doing the same. Red is also doing that. And purple is not really walling. And we should see, we should see scouts coming up from both of our pockets. Purple being the last player here to reach feudal. And are we going to see lots of archers from the flanks? We would expect that. And that is what we're seeing. We do have a drush there, which is a bit awkward for teal to deal with, because teal needs gold to produce archers, but you need the archers to deal with the drush, although you could send villagers in too. But that is a bit awkward there for teal. It looks like yellow is also going for some walls. So is green. Let's watch this drush, because this is actually, it's important if teal wants to get archer production up. This needs to be defeated in a timely manner. But I guess teal did have enough gold queued up for this to be non-problematic. And is sending everything here now. New gold miners, some archers, a scout. Alright. Yeah. And if this archer keeps running away, it probably won't go down. Looks like a wolf has joined the fight here. Let's check on the side. How are we doing here? We have red attempting to do some damage, but actually blue seems to be pretty well walled until all the way over here. And teal is now going to move out. Purple getting defensive towers up, trying to get defensive towers up. Failing to get this down, the tower's going to go up. But the archers are there now too. And this army is now going to try and hit yellow. Or not. This army is going to circle around and find some other place. Like there's a hole there. Or it could make a hole for itself. Over here... Oh, we'd have some archer skirmishes, essentially. So this is the 1v1, but we're going to focus on the 2v2 happening over here. Yeah, there was in fact a hole there, which was made intentionally probably to get some units out. But right now the military is evenly matched, so neither team wants to engage there. Alright, teal has clicked up to castle age. No one else doing that just yet. I see yellow was just getting bloodlines there for a moment. See, so yeah, teal is well on the way to Castle Age now. And all of these armies still sort of dancing around, not really wanting to fully engage, but just staying close enough to be a threat to each other. Meanwhile, if we briefly check here, nothing happening there. Blue, but red has enough archers to clear out the blue ones. Unless blue has unusually good micro. These will be crossbows shortly. Now red is also clicking up to Castle Age. And yeah, with the crossbows there, teal and green clear that up. And now we see lots of players clicking up to Castle Age. But the important thing here is that right now yellow and to a certain extent purple have very little military, especially yellow. Which gives an opportunity for some damage to happen here. This fighting the tower is probably not the best. Microing against the tower is not what you want to be doing with crossbows. That's just a way to lose crossbows. Let's check here. Are we gonna see an engagement there? Or should we watch this over here? Let's watch the archer fest here in the middle. Let's see here. I see teal moving in again. Okay, so purple having to get up more defensive towers. Green not finding a way in with the scouts. Alright, Castle Age coming in for everyone now. Alright, we'll slow down now because there'll be more things happening. Red forcing a way in. Yellow has, or blue, sorry, has already abandoned this gold mine, but blue doesn't have another gold mine anywhere. Doesn't have one set up right now. That. See, 18 versus 25. Blue's waiting for ballistics and extra armor, or the help bonus in order to take this engagement. But blue does need gold again. Wow, that's just 3. And then we should be seeing knights flooding across the map soon, but the question is where those knights will be going. Teal still trying to pick off villagers at this gold mine. I mean, it is purple's only gold mine, so pressuring here does have a point, but with the tower there, it's hard to really do damage. Maybe camping just out of tower range might work. What do we have here? We have TC taking some crossbow fire. Red, alright, so blue tried to get a town center on this gold. Red is not having any of that, but with the green knights, these crossbows will need to run. Looks like blue is desperately housed as well. Blue has a lot of villagers just standing idle, actually. 26 idle villagers, that's not good. How is the villager situation overall looking? It looks like red has the most. I guess we could do a quick check on town centers. So red has added a second town center. Yellow has added a second town center. Purple is adding one right now. Teal has added none that I can see yet. Unless I missed them. Green hasn't added, or does. Oh, that is the second one there. Blue, I don't see us. Oh, blue just got this one up, of course, right? We were talking about that. So does teal really only have one town center? It would appear to be the case, yes. Alright. this is the main place where... I mean, these big hills, those will be strategically important. Have camp archers on them, camp siege on them, like that. You could build a castle on them, I should say a town center, and then have trebuchets in a strategically useful position. I also noticed yellow has just picked up a relic, and we'll be bringing that home. Has green... Green is currently dealing with the raid, and has added a third town center there. Green does not have a monastery. So the siege workshop goes up. Red adding more archery ranges there. Alright, and purple getting a TC on the gold. And another one on a different pile of gold. I assume teal will have added a town center as well. No. Well, that means teal should be falling behind in villager counts. Not that badly, actually. Maybe I'm just not seeing. Maybe there's another town center. I don't know. In any case, red is on the way to Imperial. And we'll get there first. So these should be arbalests, if there are many of them left at that point. And green should try to take out, yeah, some of them at least before they become arbalests. Alright, blue now also responding by going up to Imperial Age. And yellow has one relic currently. Green attempting to break in over here. Red can reinforce that right now. The siege workshop will go down to knights. Purple also clicking up to Imperial Age. And purple also pushing here. With a hill, with a castle right on the very top of the hill. That's why these central hills are useful. Well, we're gonna have a 2v2 happening here. We have sort of a castle push happening here with siege too. What do we have there? Few knights, that doesn't matter. Big engagement here, but why not? A large army concentration. We're not actually seeing much of an engagement. But purple can force an engagement here. And indeed, green is sending knights. He's going to send knights as soon as teal reinforces. And we have imp will be coming in. Blue and then for purple next. So this town's looks like yellow and supported by red is trying to break in here. Blue sending home some military to deal with that, which means that red can push here. Green does, or teal also sending actually military there to help. So let's see here. Alright, now we see whose army is missing from this fight. Purple doesn't have an army here. Because purple is sieging teal right now. Everyone else is here. So we'll see which army comes out on top. I'm not seeing many yellow knights. So I think any yellow and red units here will be wiped out in a second. However, red has an army here. And yellow, how's yellow's military count doing? 12. Yellow's military count is not doing great. Neither is green's. And purple now has trebuchets. And is ready to push this while teal only starts going to Imperial. And is hopefully researching Imperial back at that town center and not at that one that just went down. Purple is also in Teal's base, while Teal's army is there. So Teal resigns because Teal doesn't have an answer to all of this. Green is also resigned, and blue still wanted to fight a bit there and is resigned now too. Alright, so we look at game number 4, and I think in the round of 16, Pamir Mountains is always the game number 4 set map, that's why we're seeing it. And that is sort of a land nomad start, and we've seen some very crazy things happen here. We've seen a player get entirely walled in by enemies. I wonder, can these villagers on this part of the map even reach the rest? There should be a passage, but the passage might be like a one-tile gap right there. That's what it looks to be. It looks like we have a pretty big central plain this time. Yeah. So yellow makes it through, teal makes it through with a goat. And alright, so red's building there. Yellow's building close to red. Teal's building there. Purple's building reasonably close to red and yellow. So teal is going to be caught out a bit, I think. Where's blue? Blue is building over here, and green is building over here. Yeah, so teal's going to be pretty close to purple. Teal will be the most exposed. Also purple will actually be reasonably exposed here. We see lots of pinging when the players discover each other's town centers. So players do start with a horse scout here, of course, and we'll take a look. So this red managed to find a nice spot with berries and wood. Teal managed to find a nice spot with stone and wood. Purple found a nice spot with lots of wood and also found a lot of goats. Blue found a nice spot with gold, stone, and wood, and also a lot of goats. And green is just on wood but has berries. Yeah. I'll slow down a bit. Green is on the way to feudal. Alright, red is... That's a nice mining camp for 2 resources. Yeah, so red and yellow are close. We're gonna see the big fights will be around purple and perhaps around teal, but especially purple actually is the most exposed, looking at it now. Green is going to link up to the mountain range to help wall a bit. Alright, so we see green going for scouts. Players knew that this was a map that was coming, but they also had to use the set civ pool, so we have Persians, Mongols, and Huns, and Bulgarians that we're seeing today. We didn't see Bulgarians other times on this map. We saw Turks and whatever the final civ in the pool is. Or maybe we did see Bulgarians actually. I think we did, because we did see some prep posts. Like the overall civ pools for each specific map when that map is set are only 5 or 6 civilizations, I believe. Alright, so red is already on the way to Castle Age, same for blue. Those, that will be Mongols and Mongols. And blue actually has goats for days here. see green scouts coming in there. We now have Castle Age coming in for various players. Anyone else still have a large supply of goats left over? Green still has some. Red has walled in that. Yeah, so Castle Age is when things will get interesting here. See, alright, so Teal getting archers out while Purple's gonna stall for Castle Age. Could produce some scouts, but is just producing Castle Age currently. And are any of these players particularly in a poor place to get wood? Well, Purple... Yeah, we do have sort of a north and south. Well, actually, Purple is in a bit of an exposed spot. Looking at this now, can retreat back up to his allies. And we teal and green are still in feudal. Let's see. Yellow is doing a mass migration here. This... You don't send this many villagers unless you're planning to, say, drop a castle. Has Yellow been mining stone? Yes. Or unless you're planning to drop a grey post. That works. So that grey post, well, it can range some farms. It will also secure some stone and act as a nice forward production building. Green sending the scouts back. Those scouts will be too late. Grey post goes up. And we see Mangadai already. That means that Red has... Okay, Red went for a defensive castle to secure stone, gold, and wood. Red went for a very defensive castle. What do we have here? Teal has a lot. Teal is getting loom now. That's a bit late. That's a bit late, isn't it, to be getting a loom? Huh. Alright, let's look at this Kratos situation here. So, green is being bullied a bit here by having Kratos here, just a few Mangadai here, but enough to do some raiding. Blue's sending camels to support. What does Blue have down here? A new town center. 3 town centers. Blue is going for a nice boom down there. Purple wanted to get a town center here up on the berries, and is this Persians? Maybe even, it's out of range of this one, but this town center isn't going up without military support, so Purple goes for one on berries and wood here. The Cray Post is still creating... Well, still pressuring this area. And preventing green from being able to get to Castle Age. Red adding more town centers. How's yellow? Yellow has a town center. Doesn't really have much race. Yellow just went for an all-in Cray Post rush. We'll try to add another Cray Post later on. These are just goats here in the mountains, this stuff here. And Purple is not going to get that town center up anytime soon. Although these archers aren't going to do great against Mangadai. They will be crossbows though, so that will help. Purple is adding siege, that's also a good choice. Yeah, Purple really doesn't have... Well, let's actually look at military counts. Yellow has no military, because Yellow is just Cray Post rushing. Purple has essentially no military. The only player who has a lot of military is Teal, who spent a lot of time in feudal, and now has many crossbows to show for it. That university is abandoned for now because of Mangadai running around. Let's see. Do we see... Alright, we see a palisade gate there. We don't see a second Cray post yet. I mean, yellow could just go for a full castle, actually, like there. Or another Cray post there. And this now becomes dangerous because green is not in castle age. Can't rebuild somewhere else just yet. He's going to attempt a tower, but I dare say this Cray post is getting up as well. No matter, you know, even if this tower gets up. Well, the tower is so close, the Cray post can't actually range it without mirror holes, likely. But the Cray post can't be battered down as easily as a tower. So this, yeah, that tower goes down. Town center now at risk of going down. And green could be in serious trouble. How is everyone else doing? How green's allies? Blue's doing fine. Teal is doing alright. Yeah. But green has a Cray post here. That's not good. Green is researching Castle Age, so this town center needs to stay up. And this town center needs some repairers, actually. Unless the Cray post... well, now the Cray post has been distracted and is shooting at villagers. Shooting back at the town center again. What have we got going on here? Ooh, red had a castle up here and is still gathering stone. So red is now going for a forward castle here. And purple has some siege, just like an AI-looking army. A scout, a knight, a camel, a mangonel, a monk, 2 scorpions. To help force this up, secure this area. Alright, looks like green will make it to Imperial. This is, after all, a Persian town center. But... okay, green can just expand back there. Yellow doesn't have much here, back at home. But now teal is being pressured. Let's see, I see a blue, sizable blue army running through the purple space here. Oh, it's nice and messy. That's what I like in this map. But yeah, green running far back to make a new town center. And let's look at our villager counts. Yellow, of course, is doing the all-out Cray post rush, but isn't producing anything at all and is only on 24 villagers. So green is on 46 villagers. Yellow wasn't able to knock green out of the game, and I'm not sure yellow bought enough time either. What is this? This is going to be a Cray post down here somewhere, but not with this many knights running around. Yeah, like yellow isn't contributing much to the team at this point. If we look at everyone else, well, blue is on 90, and red is on 70 villagers. We also notice that green and yellow both have no eco. Green because of this, and yellow also because of that. Oh, that's decent number of mega. So I can't say which team is winning this. Score-wise, it would be the cool colors. I suppose because yellow is actually in worse shape than green, now that green is in Castle Age. And yellow is still only in one town center. Where did yellow attempt to force up into? Yellow is still running around. He's going to force up a Cray post there. Well, if that goes up, that will be good because it will deny this town center. But, you know, Teal has other town centers at this point. I think Yellow's going to be a bit of a weak link in this fight here now. The villagers hide in the castle for now. Now they're going to go back out. Over here... Ah, looks like Teal is going to go... Well, there are no villagers here anymore. We'll have to go all the way back here. Green is rebuilt. Is now going for 4 town centers to attempt to get back into the game. Well, Yellow is only on 19 villagers. How is Purple doing? Not great. Purple, as expected, is kind of in the middle of everything. And we see Red clicking up to Imperial Age. But Red doesn't really have a lot of... Let's look at Red's base. Does have a pretty secure eco though. Yeah, and Yellow forced to garrison again. Yellow's gonna be... I don't think Yellow's contributed enough with this crit post rush. I see Yellow... Oh, actually, I say that, but... Yellow has now built one in Blue's base, but the castle will take down a crit post easily. The castle has double hit points. But this one here, well, it denies this golden stone. Teal retreats back here. Blue also researching Imperial now. So Red and Blue will be Imperial. Yeah, those are the 2 strongest players economically. I say that, but Teal's actually doing alright on that front, and Green has successfully come back from being heavily pushed early on, adding many, many town centers. Okay, that was going to go down. I'm seeing it's a bit of a lull in the action right now, I have to say. See some Teal Cav Archers. Mangadire beat that, especially with its greater numbers. Green also going for Imp now. Yeah, okay, so Yellow has how many villagers? 20. This Yellow is a bit of a too weak of a link now on the team. And Purple isn't strong enough there, and Red can't carry this alone, I would judge. I mean, Mangadire are good, but once you know, Persian cavalry starts streaming out, that will be probably GG. So actually that was GG right there, exactly. Because even though this is going around here, there's no imp from the Persian player here, who managed to wall up again and managed to full boom. And Yellow is still on 18 villagers now, yeah. So Red alone can't carry this, and Purple doesn't really have much in the way of military. That's an interesting looking timeline here. We see this dip here, and then I guess there was the huge army that Teal built up in the extended feudal age. Alright, so we have a game 5. Is that just a copy of game 4? No, it is not. We have game 5 on Sonora. Theoretically, the finals of the main event of World Desert Championship start in 5 minutes. That being said, the way this has been going generally is it takes a while for these lobbies to actually get started. And until all the players are there and they're actually started and stream delay and blah blah. And so I'm actually going to do match 5 here as well, so that I finish the round of 16 in the Sand League, which then leaves us with the quarterfinals only. And the quarterfinals haven't been fully played yet. It's not, you know, two of the 4 games, 2 of the 4 sets have been played. One of them might not be happening at all, so I think the other one is also having some scheduling difficulties, so we'll see how that goes going forward. Here, this is Sonora, so there is I believe this is also a set map here, so we're seeing Koreans and Mayans, Lithuanians, Koreans, Britons, Khmer. I feel like these are actually... I'm not sure. Maybe this was the map pack after all. I can check that. No, that was this was the Sonora civilizations. We are going to speed through it slightly, but this is the map that has the gold in the center and these passages. It's sort of like Oasis, actually, except that the center is these gold passages that you can wall off. You can also try to build something on there, but it's tricky. There's this crack terrain where units or buildings take more damage, and there are these little ponds that also make it hard to find places to build things. But walling to the edges is something we commonly see. And in fact, we see, well, one team is walled here, the other team is walled here, and players now walling the center as well, preemptively. So yellow will have that walled up, yeah. That's always something to watch for, because these rocks sort of obscure the tile behind them. It's easy for there to be a hole just at the edge, like that, exactly, like that. So it's worth checking for. That also looks like a hole to me, to be perfectly honest here, right there. Worth checking for holes. Yellow walling behind there. Alright, so our southern team will be fully walled as soon as that completes, except for said hole. And possibly other holes that I haven't seen. Meanwhile, our northern team, well, it's still open over here, but it'll be mostly walled. And we have various players going to Castle Age now, all of them actually. So let's see where the engagements will happen. No laming allowed, so if you find your opponent's sheep, you just leave them there. Alright, we see purple going for a castle here. That says to me that we're going to see war wagons. And where's our Khmer player? Khmer is green. I wonder if we'll see elephants or not. Probably not, but would be fun. I don't think I've seen... Well, we did see elephant archers actually from Indians today, but overall we haven't seen many elephants so far. Yeah, this hole is open, but is going to be closed now. And alright, we do have some yellow scouts that made it back here. They're going to do some scouting. They might be able to pick off a villager somewhere. Alright, so what have we got going for? Yeah, we have war wagons coming out. That is to be expected. War wagons are pretty good in Castle Age just because they have good stats. High attack, high pierce armor, high HP. And they are reasonably discounted as well. Other than that, I'm seeing crossbows and such over here. What is yellow going for? Yellow is going for relics and a boom. What is green going for? Green is also going for a boom. Yeah, okay, so it looks like the pockets are booming. Blue also has a castle now with war wagons up. Flanks are going for archers and war wagons, respectively. And yeah, the war wagons are pushing here. Red stonewalling behind there. These war wagons will be coming in too. I suppose yellow and green could actually fight it out in the middle if they wanted to. They're both content to just Korean towers. So we have Koreans against Britons on this side and Koreans against Mayans on this side. Alright, so yeah. Now our Britain's player does get a castle there. A reasonably defensive location. Middle is continuing to just be walled up and stalemated. Yellow making a hold though to steal some more relics. And alright, blue attempting to force this wall of the castle. These are already fortified walls. Red is walling behind, castle behind. That's not going to be a hold anytime soon. Same here with the castle behind actually. So trying to force it here. And we see Imp coming in for green first, who's just been merely having a Khmer boom. And over here we have a Lithuanian boom. That is not going, that'll be going for Imp in a moment. So we'll see there. Alright, so we do see the battle elephants. I'm happy to see those. And let's also quickly check. Our Lithuanian player has 3 relics, which is a solid amount of relics. And there is one more there to be snagged, although that's a bit tricky to get to, especially when green is now walling there. Let's watch where the battle elephants engage here. Alright, Imp coming in for everyone. So we have that. We see yellow is actually going to steal the remaining relics too. Yellow will have very upgraded paladins soon. Wow, once they're upgraded paladins. Currently yellow has monks and no other military. Maybe some scouts somewhere. Yeah. Korean keep here. Yeah, so it's very much the Oasis type of gameplay, assuming that no one gets rushed very early in the later team calls. It might come down to which team sets up trade in time, or which team controls enough of the center to be able to delay setting up trade. So we have battle elephants here who really need more rams or something to break through all of these fortified walls. Who's going for skirmishers here? Alright. I guess skirmishers do have an attack bonus versus war wagons. They don't do that great versus them. But let's see. So green is still going battle elephants. What is this? Yeah, getting elite battle elephant. Yellow is now going halberdier, Lithuanian halberdiers to help deal with this. So not taking advantage of the fact that yellow has 4 relics garrisoned. Not seeing many stables yet. Alright, looks like red is setting up trade here with purple. So this team getting an early start on trade. And our Britain's player just going for skirmishers right now. That's not a great sign. That's not a great sign when you're going for skirmishers in a team game. I'm sure they'll do well against war wagons. Alright, I'm more past 40. looks like the battle elephants can also tank a lot here. And on this side, we have the Halbs pushing the battle elephants back. I'm surprised. Okay, yeah, now Yellow is getting the cavalry upgrades. Because Yellow has all the relics, so it's really some pretty good paladins. It looks like Green is setting up trade now too, and Teal as well. Trade is already well underway over here. There is no fighting in the middle yet. In the other games, we've seen actually a lot of fighting in the middle too, where like the pockets or whichever players were close to it built castles, trapdoors in the middle, all that. I'm not seeing that this time. We are seeing here that mangonels plus elite skirmishers plus battle elephants are able to deal with war wagons quite handily. Now we do see the Lithuanian cavalry coming in though. Meanwhile, on this side, halberdiers and arbaletists are going to be pushing back the war wagons. We have some conversions come in. Converting war wagons. I guess because there were no elephants nearby to convert. That's interesting. So, alright, so looks like Teal is managing to push here. Yellow's also getting up with the halberdier production on this side. And meanwhile, Red, assisted by Yellow, is managing to push here. And I see Paladin coming in now. And it also looks like Green... Green is just sending more villagers into the middle. Alright, so... I can't say which team's gonna win this. I do want it to finish soon, so that I can watch the finals of the main event, but I'm not going to rush it either, because this is an epic battle. Alright, so right here, Green and Blue are being pushed back. That was a converted battle elephant. There's some monks here, monks to counter the elephants. So what is... Yeah, Green is still just going for elephants. But the monks will help counter that. We have war wagons and elephants waiting there. This side, these will be paladins soon. And purple is still getting up war wagons. So I think our warm colored team is pushing ahead here. Buoyed by getting earlier trade up. And perhaps being able to deal with elephants properly. Also the fact that our Lithuanian player has 4 relics will be helpful as soon as these are paladins. Well, we'll always be helpful as soon as we see heavy cavalry. So, Teal, let's take a look at the economy. Everyone's fully boomed right now. Teal hasn't had too many losses yet. We're seeing just a bit of tower skirmishing in the middle. Blue should probably delete some palisades here to allow for easier trading, and maybe a house. Red is pushing in though. With Trebs, a lot of monks at this point. Meanwhile, Yellow is streaming paladins down both sides. And this might be an important engagement here. We have a lot of rams to take damage. We have a lot of monks for elephants. We have a lot of war wagons to snipe monks. And we have more castles going up behind. The thing is, if this pushes any further, then Well, there's not that many villagers there anyway, but red could take control of that segment of the middle. While over here, ooh, it looks like a few paladins have made it all the way through. And they're going to be in the trade line if they find it. Or they're just going to raid some eco. It looks like the war wagons and elephants are pushing forward here. So far, at least. But over here, teal slowly being forced back. See, it looks like blue is producing a lot of trebuchets. That is true. And there are a lot of castles here. So green doesn't even have 200 houses for 200 units yet. That's a good sign. I mean, elephants are of course very population efficient, but still. How is this fight going? It's hard to say. We see another round of halberds come in. And some more paladins. It's nice to have an epic fight like this to close it out. And over here, purple's, I want to say slowly pushing in, but right now actually, purple is just holding its position against skirmishers and elephants and hounds. Though, as I said here with the trade, a hole here would be good for more efficient trade. And our team over here has much more trade set up already. And it's actually pushing with towers in the middle. There isn't that much gold. Well, there's some gold to be had in the middle. Purple continuing to hold this position here. And red actually trying to get pretty forward cast up. That one can be deleted. That's not going to get up just yet. Not in the current state of things. I think one castle here got trebbed down by blue. Yeah, that's a very exposed castle. But this is very slowly pushing into blue and green here too, and that's GG. Yeah, because this pushed in here, this pushed in here. So game 5, that was a nice and epic game. I think the stronger trade here might have made the difference ultimately. Or perhaps elite battle elephants weren't the right answer. I don't know. Weren't the right choice. I was happy to see them though. I have to admit that. Also, letting the Lithuanian player get all the relics is not a good idea, if you can prevent it at all. So, I'm not going to spend too much time here, because the finals for the main event of the World Desert Championship are happening right now, probably. So, go watch that, everyone. I'll be doing that too. And the Sand League will have the quarterfinals. Some of those games still need to be played, and then we have semifinals and finals that will happen at some point in the future, and I'll try to cast or stream those as well. That's all. I'm not going to make this long because you have other things to watch. Thanks for stopping by.